How many people also have some mindset issues we need to overcome? I'm stuck. I'm overanalyzing. I've never done anything. I don't feel worthy of a deal. I've been there too. I get it. So it's easy for me to identify it. Step into the opportunity. Lee, you have deals under contract that are flips?
Their contracts are pending. I was looking for funding, but I have a couple of them.
Okay, cool. So contracts are pending. You're worried about the money. You want to do the deals, but you're afraid of signing the contracts until you have capital lined up.
More or less, yes.
Like you're the person that wants to buy a deal. You're lacking funding or knowing where to go. You spent your time finding the deals. You know how to go do the deal, but you haven't spent the time finding the money. And now you got some stress and some anxiety.
That's why I'm talking to you today.
Does everybody understand the pain of who the customer is? Lee, you are the customer, correct?
Yes.
So if somebody that's a new Gator reaches out to somebody like Lee and says, hey, Lee, I could fund your deal. This is the way that my team would communicate with Lee. Okay, check it out. So Lee, tell me just about one of the deals. What's the purchase price?
Purchase price is $750,000.
Okay, $750,000. And what is your renovation cost?
$150,000.
Okay, so let's just say $200,000. Okay, and what could you flip this for and sell it?
$1.3 million.
That sounds like a decent deal. It's not great, but it's a decent deal. I'll tell you why it's not a great deal, but it's $1.3 million. So here's what Lee would normally have to go do. Lee's going to go to a hard money lender. Okay. And I'll give you guys a good hard money lender. If you just want to go to a hard money lender, you can go to a company I use all the time, myinvestorloan.com. Okay. The problem with myinvestorloan.com is they will use your credit and they will go off your experience. And then what they will also do is they'll say, hey, Lee, we need you to bring 30% down on that property that you're buying for $750,000. So they're going to ask you, they're going to say, hey, Lee, we will bring $500,000 of the money, but you got to bring the other $250,000. And you're going to say, crap, I don't have that $250,000. Okay. And then the other thing is you're going to say, I need the $200,000 of renovation and probably another $50,000 of miscellaneous expenses like permitting and architect and all that kind of stuff. And you're also going to say, I don't have that money and I don't have that money. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, cool. We understand your pain. Your pain is I need $750,000 for the purchase. I need, let's say just hypothetically $200,000. For people that are watching, I want them to understand that no renovation ever hits its budget. And so I've got to bring $950,000 to the table, plus let's say $50,000 for just miscellaneous expenses, closing costs, whatever, utilities, landscape cleanup, whatever it may be, because we're going to keep this thing looking nice while we're renovating it. Lee goes out and sells this thing for $1.3 million, and it's going to cost him about $90,000 in realtor fees to sell it, something like that. You're going to walk out. I'm going to say worst case scenario, you're going to make about $200,000 in this, and possibly, if everything works out well, which it rarely does, is you'll make about $300,000. Sound about right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what I do is, let's say somebody came to you, Lee, and they said, hey, I see that you're doing projects. And they're a Gator, and they go, hey, I have access to capital. I have access to money. Would you let me give you a bid on your next deal? Those people introduce me and you together. My team then looks at the deal. My team negotiates with you. And basically what I would probably negotiate with you is I would bring all the capital, and I would probably take probably a 30% profit on this. Since you found the deal and you're running the renovation, I would take
I was thinking 20%.
Okay, I'll do 30.
Okay.
Will you do it for 30?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So here's what I would do.
I remember one has the goal, make the rules. So go right ahead.
There you go. And we'll do a lot of deals together. But the reason why I need to charge more on the partnership is because I have to feed somebody else on these types of deals, right? I have a Gator that's going to be introducing these things to me, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So what I'll do is on my deal, on the first deal I do with that Gator, is they will get 50% of that. 30%. So they get 15% of your profit, which is, let's see, about $45,000. Okay. So you've got short-term big hits on deals like this. This is literally the opportunity. It's pretty freaking awesome. I've got students making $1.5 million, $2 million every single year doing this. I got people that used to be school teachers. 10,000 plus people are doing this with me. The problem is, here's the problem. I not only do your first several deals with you, but then I teach you where I get my money from, and you end up graduating and stop doing deals with me because I want to do a split. Okay. So what I do with my students is here's the split I do with the student. On the first deal that I do with you, I do it 50-50. Then the second deal and everything after I do that, 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. So what happens is my students end up doing a handful of deals with me, 10, 20, 15 deals with me. and they end up going and graduating so they can take 100% of the profit because I also teach them how to go and get access to the money. Derek just has to ask me a question. Derek, you got 30 seconds. What do you got?
Yes, I appreciate it, Pace. I've spoken to you before, been to a couple RV There Yet events and had a great time. What I'm confused on is I've spoken with a couple guys, Justin and Dave, and they're just awesome dudes. But what I'm confused by is they're so well tuned in to your system. But I'm like, well, if they're so well tuned in, why are they reaching out to me to fund something at all? Like, meaning, so I don't think it's not like I don't trust them and that they come off wrong. It's more the action of coming to me. I'm like, why would they come to me as opposed to all this wealth, or including yourself?
I don't even understand the question.
So meaning they're coming to me about a mobile home park, RV park that needs 600K.
Okay.
And I don't have all that, but I could potentially eventually get it, by networking and whatnot.
Or bring it to me, right, Derek?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, that they know you. So I was like, why don't they just go to Pace? That's confusing.
Probably because they're in SubTo, right? They're in the SubTo community doing real estate deals and learning how to cold call and negotiate with sellers. If they're in Gator, they just come directly to me, right? I fund deals through Gators. I buy deals with SubTo members. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So yeah, I have here. Let me give you part of my ecosystem I never talk about.
Okay.
I have an ecosystem called Top Tier TC where I train women primarily how to do paperwork and run the back end of people's businesses, right? I'm not funding deals for those ladies. I'm teaching them how to do paperwork. So it's the same thing with like the art department is not going to come to me for business advice. You know what I'm saying? So just because they go to my college and they're in the art department learning transaction coordination, they're not going to come to me for funding. The people that are in my funding department, which is Gator, those are the people that come to me for funding. Does this clarify your question?
So meaning one of them is doing really well in his deals up north in Alaska. And I was so fascinated by it and really got along with him. But then I don't have any big deals going yet. And so I'm confused why he would look to me. Like, why wouldn't that younger guy just go to him when they're already well established?
Wow, bro. How many opportunities do you think you've passed up in your life by thinking this way?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm trying to break. I'm trying to figure it out.
The thing that's going to break that is getting away from whoever you hang out with, whoever raised you, whoever you hang out with at your 9-to-5 job, whoever you spend leisure time with. This is a mindset thing.
Yeah. I'm aware. That's
like if you think, bro, this is not even a logical question. This is an illogical question that's been created by you. This is why I'm so confused by it. I'm like, oh, this is not even technical. This is actually just a mindset question.
Right.
So next time you ask a question like this, go, Pace, I'm aware this is probably a mindset question. I'm aware. I'm thinking you're coming in with a technical question. You're not.
Well, I was saying it's a trust issue because I'm like, well, why
Who hurt you, bro?
Yeah. I had it on creative listing as well. I had some guys.
Who hurt you in your prior life, dog?
I've never really been.
Then why do you have trust issues?
Well, I think I'm like you said, overanalyze. But at the same time, I know you don't.
When has that ever benefited you?
I have had to hire a lawyer for a guy once. So one time.
Okay, cool. So you had to hire a lawyer for one guy. So you're over analytical. Have you ever overanalyzed how much your overanalyzing has cost you?
Yes, probably. Yes. Definitely.
The prison you live in is right here.
Right.
You live in a prison and it looks like this.
Yes.
You are in a mental prison. People can hand something to you and you go like this. Meanwhile, you got people like you're probably talking about Dave Lisi, who I'm partners with on stuff.
Yeah.
I hung out with Dave all day yesterday. Dave's out buying a multifamily deal today, and he's sitting there reaching out to you because he doesn't know how much you have in your bank account, bro. He's being smart. You ask everybody when you're putting deals together. You ask everybody you can communicate with it. Hey, I'm looking for $600,000. Do you know anybody has $600,000?
Right.
And your thought is, why is he coming to me? Well, because did you show him your bank account? Did you show him your retirement accounts? Did you show him how much money you're worth? No, you didn't. So how does he know whether you have it or don't have it? One. And two, here's a compliment. When the man comes to you with an opportunity, then he thinks you are worthy of an opportunity.
Right. Well, I did like that.
Stop thinking the opposite, my friend. Somebody thinks you're worthy of an opportunity. He's asking you to collaborate with him on a deal. Oh, wait, why me? Why me? Why me? Oh my gosh, I have trust issues. What? You have trust issues when somebody brings you an opportunity of a lifetime? I think your therapist is going to do a better job than I can. Guys, how many people also have some mindset issues we need to overcome? I'm stuck. I'm overanalyzing. I've never done anything. I don't feel worthy of a deal. I've been there too. I get it. So it's easy for me to identify it. Step into the opportunity, Derek. You want to break free of it? Then take a step forward. If you don't want to, then stay in the prison, but don't complain about the prison. That's the difference. The people that are in the prison just say, I'm really grateful to be in this little comfy little box. People go, oh, I don't want to step out of my comfort zone. Really? That's your comfort zone? That prison that is in your brain, that's comfortable? You literally are comfortable in that? That's why you call it your comfort zone? Wow. There's nothing comfortable about living small. There's nothing comfortable about not being able to pay your bills. There's nothing comfortable about lacking progress in your life. There's nothing comfortable about being an over analytical person. There's literally nothing comfortable. You should start telling yourself, this is my discomfort zone. I don't like being here. I am upset that I am here right now, and I need to escape from it. When you tell yourself this is my comfort zone, your brain thinks this is a safe space. It is not. The world is coming for you. You have expenses coming next month, and then next month, and then next month. There is nothing going to slow down. The world's going to get faster. It's going to get harder. You either step out of that discomfort zone or just stop complaining about it. Stop calling it your comfort zone, because there's nothing comfortable about the way you live your life. Living in a world where you know you were put on this earth to do bigger things and you're not doing them. Ain't nothing comfortable about that. How many people want to take a step out of that discomfort zone and step into a comfort zone? A place where you have padded walls, a place where you actually can collaborate with people, a place where resources are actually brought to you, where people want to collaborate with you. And when an opportunity comes and smacks you in the face, you say yes to it instead of, wait, why me? Oh my gosh, why me? If you're the why me kind of people, just keep watching free content, please.